Yeah, Slovakia, Russia allies. Let's see what it says here. Oh, righty. So it says, who are the countries aligned with Russia? And beautiful, it says, Russia also maintains positive relations with countries considered neutral on world stages, such as India and Vietnam. But with countries traditionally considered Western aligned, Russia maintains positive relationships with Hungary, Siberia, Turkey, Qatar, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. Okay, here Belarus, which is Moscow's ally. Okay, it says Iran, which they're replenishing Russian army stockpile. North Korea, Syria, China, India. So it says, who are Russia's allies? A list of countries supporting the Kremlin invasion of Ukraine. So when you go to Ezekiel 38th chapter, all right, this is the book of Ezekiel 38. It says a prophecy about the future invasion of Israel. Now, scholars understand this to some degree. Okay, those scholars, they don't have the full insight when it comes to the prophetic revelation of the scriptures. But as far as historical context and landmarks and ancient lands on who they moved and how they derived, they understand that because they have the means to research these things, okay? Like we was talking over the weekend, how Esau has the technology and the money to go and dig up particular facts, excavation facts. He can go find out where the Ark of the Covenant was originally at. He knows these things because he has the resources. Okay, he can find out that there was a flood in Egypt. Like I believe it was a website I was researching years ago, that the time of the Messiah, when he was crucified and when he gave up the spirit, and the earthquake came, and a veil lent, and then they even knew on record that there was an earthquake in that province at the time when he was crucified, and that there was a solar eclipse. So he has the means to understand these things, okay? Because he has the technology, he has the money, he's in power, okay? The resources are given into his hand. But it says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophecy against him. Okay, now when you go into the history, these are Japhetic nations. Okay, these are the sons of Japhet, which will be your original quote unquote Europeans. Okay, which were people of color. Okay, Europeans were not white people, they were not Edomites, they were actually Japhetic peoples. Okay, like you had Rome, which was named after Romulus and Remus. Okay, you had Greece, which all those were Japhetic people. Australia, and you still have remnants of Japhet in the Aborigines of Australia, which was pushed southern, and then a lot of them was migrated over to Hawaii and the islands and so forth. Okay, which were people of color. Those are Japhetic peoples. Like the little bell pepper nose, they look like little Keebler elves. Those are Japhetic peoples, man. Okay, so Esau Edom has assumed the identity of Gog and Magog today. And when you look at Gog and Magog on the ancient map, and when you look at the map today, it's Russia. Okay, you can't find any ancient depiction of any wars of these nations forming some type of alliance to take down the Western powers to be, because the Western powers to be at that time did not really exist under that. They didn't exist under the Western powers we know today. Now you did have vassal states, you had ancient names for these ancient landmarks, but overall there was no NATO or the EU during the time of Japhet, man. If you may understand that. It says, and son of man, set thy face against Gog and Magog in the land of Magog, the chief priest of Meshech and Tubal, and prophecy against him. And what this prophecy means. Okay, the prophesy means to say something before, or to speak of future events or future current events. And it says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. Okay, when have the Most High ever done this to Meshech and Tubal? When have he ever done this in ancient times? Okay, and when he said, we'll put hooks back in their jaws. Because this is prophetic, man. Okay, the scriptures do deal with prophetic duality, not duology, Slakia, but it deals with symbolism, allegories, okay, in duality, okay, or manifold, because the scriptures could be saying this in a sense, but on the flip side, it's meaning this. Okay, you got to remember when Ezekiel was given a vision, the Lord didn't say Russia. Okay, he showed him future visions of what these particular nations would do that assume the identity of these nations. Okay, so for him to say, oh, well, you got these stupid, dumb black Hebrew Israelites, that's another thing too. Beware of a man that's saying black Hebrew Israelites, okay? Because see, that's a buzzword, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Nate, man, he's juiced in with them peoples, okay? He does not stand for the betterment of our people, and he's he's damn sure not on the side of the men of the Lord, okay? That man is gonna be responsible for a lot of people being put down and locked up, man, and persecuted, okay? Even in his own congregation. And if you can't see that, then it's because you're just as blind as he is. But it says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, and all of them handling swords. This is talking about war. Okay, we're seeing these pacts form as we speak through this Ukrainian conflict. Okay, through the now you got Hamas or the Palestinians versus the Israelis. Okay, and you got basically them attacking Syrian borders. Okay, which Iran and Russia, they have interests in Syria. Okay, because I believe Syria is one of the 3 countries that doesn't have a Rothschild central bank in it, including Iran. And I believe it was another one, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's Libya. I can't recall. I have to look it up. But regardless of it, all these nations are being backed by Russia. Okay, and it says, when I will turn and put the hooks back into thy jaws, it's talking about bringing Russia back to that old primitive Soviet Union mindset, man. Okay, during the time of the Cold War, the Russians put fear in the West, man. Okay, so what is he talking about? But the Most High is raising up that spirit of those Russians again to rouse them back up, because after the Cold War died down, and then you had like the Gulf War, you had like Desert Storm and so forth, when America was pretty much the dominant powerhouse of the world. Russia was pretty much like under the table. You know, they had influence here, influence there, but ultimately America had them in their pocket. So they was like, we ain't really worried about them. Now we're seeing Russia take center stage as being a bully into Babylon the Great, man, because the only thing that's standing in the way of America getting global domination is really Russia and China. Okay, 2 major superpowers that America will have to figure out how to neutralize, and if they want to be the dominant force of the powerhouse of the world, and that's not going to happen. Okay, the America in the West is going to lose horribly. Okay, and mainly America, because their allies are going to turn against them. All right, but it says here, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, all of them handling swords with shield and helmet. Now, we just went here. Who was Russia's top? We just read here, Belarus, North Korea, Syria, Iran. Okay, and we just read here, Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, all of them handling swords, man. Okay, then you got Gomer and all his bands in the house of Togarmah, North Quarters, and all his bands and many people with thee. You know, you got Turkey in there. Okay, so you can't find a time in ancient history that these nations have actually came together to follow a major war. Okay, that was going to lead in the ultimate destruction of the West. And it says here, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be a guard unto them. And after many days thou shalt be visited. In latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, and have always been waste. But is brought forth out of the nations, and they should dwell safely, all of them. Okay, so when has this ever happened? Okay, why are these nations today, the Persians, the Ethiopians, by their ancient names, the modern day names, why are they patting together today to side with Russia if this wasn't talking about a future prophecy? You know? And it says here, and thou shalt ascend and come like a storm, and thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands and many people with thee, because there's going to be military intervention. Okay, the war of Armageddon that this guy Nate was going into Revelation, the 20th chapter, speaking on how after the 1,000-year reign, that was going to be a war in the Holy Land, and basically we was going to have to defend the kingdom from a bunch of heathens. But wait a minute, when we subjugate the kingdoms, there's not going to be any coming back in power for them, because the Lord said that, hey, we're going to turn. If you go to Ezekiel, I believe it's the 39th chapter, I believe it goes into how we're going to burn those weapons. And this is right after that war. So how can they come against us with war when the scriptures say that we're going to burn all of it? I think it said in 7 years we should we should destroy all the weapons. So what are you talking about, man? Okay, see, he's getting the time frames mixed up, because Revelation 20, it jumps, it time skips. 20 and 3, then you go down to verse 7 or 8, then that's the same time period, but it jump and skips. Okay, so when Yahushua reigned with us 1,000 years, that's going to be subjugating the other nations. Okay, and there's not going to be any wars after that. But he's not breaking it down correctly because he don't understand the history of it. Talking about we break it down like Christians. No, man, you're breaking it down like a Christian. Okay, but it time skips. Oh, well, there's going to be a war. We're going to have to defend her. And I've heard that breakdown before, that after 1,000 years, we going to go back down and they going to reign again. And there's going to be this big tipsy-turny of an event. That's not biblical, man. Okay, and that's just utter confusion. Okay, the scriptures say that the Lord in that day should set up a kingdom which should not be given it should be given it to the saints of the Most High, and they should rule forever and ever. So there's not going to be any rebellion in our kingdom. Once we subjugate the nations, that's going to be it. Okay, Esau is going to be chased out of the earth. He's going to be destroyed as a nation of people. The other nations are going to get their walking paper, so to speak, out of their captivities. And they're going to go back to their respective lands, and they're going to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High and be tributing to us. Ain't going to be no war. You think the Most High is going to let them build up the kingdom a whole 1,000 years, this beautiful kingdom, and all of a sudden a fucking nuclear bomb goes off? No. We're not going to have that type of, no, it's going to be a total different world, different dynamic, different mindset. For time, vibration, energies are going to, they're going to be different, man. They're going to act in a total different manner. It's going to be the polar opposite of this madhouse we're living in today. Okay. And it says here, and thus says the Lord Yahweh, it shall come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. Okay, and it says, and thou shalt say, I will go up into the land of unwalled villages. That's here. Okay, unwalled villages is America, Babylon the Great. Because once again, going into the context of it, when you go to state, there's no walls. Okay, there's no guards saying, okay, what's your business in this province? Because it's one big city. Okay, you have borders and you have bridges that connects the states. You have a southern border, you have a border to Canada. Okay, and then the rest you just have states. You can go across state lines. It may be a bridge that separates the border from that state, but nobody's at the end of the post saying, hey, what's your business in Illinois? No, you just go right into it. Okay, but it says the land of unwalled villages, and I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely. And who is that? That's America. Okay, these people are too safe, man. They got their mansions, they got their homes, they got their jobs. You know, these people are completely at rest, and you can see it. And it says, all of them dwelling without walls, having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey, and to turn thy hand upon the desolate that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and good, that dwell in the midst of the land, man, okay? And that's talking about the invasion of Babylon the Great, because, hey, right now, hey, the Most High said he was going to send fanners, and they will fan her. Okay, so you have invaders, you're going to have marauders, okay, you got foreign troops over here. It's already invaded. It's just a matter of time before everything starts to reveal itself. You see? But this guy's teaching a false breakdown because he's not a man of the Lord. All right? Let's go from here. Let's show you where he gets it twisted at. Because see, this is the part that he Revelation 20. Let's go Revelation 20 and let's start here. Revelation 20. Yep, I'm gonna start verses of 20 and 7. And see, this is the time skip, because see, when you read it straightforward, it's like, okay, this is saying this, but it's saying that. But it is Revelation 20 and 7. It says, in 1,000 years are expired, Satan should be loosed out of his prison. That's this time now. That's Renaissance. Okay, this is the Renaissance era. Renaissance means the rebirth or to whitewash. Okay, it says, and should go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together with battle. We were just reading that in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, which proves that this is a future prophecy. Okay, because why is it mentioning Gog and Magog again? To gather them together to battle. Okay, the Russians, okay, the Iranians, the Chinese. It says, and the number of whom is as the sand of the sea, because we just read that their bands and their allies are going to be with them. And it says, and they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints in the beloved city, and fire came down out of the Most High from heaven and devoured them. Okay, and the devil that would deceive them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are and should be tormented day and night forever and ever. Now, this is not talking about in the kingdom. Okay, this is modern day. Okay, everything we're reading here is modern day time. Okay, when it says a little season, we're in that little season. So Revelations 27 through 10, this is all talking about this time we're in now. Okay, because there's not going to be any more wars after we have the kingdom. Okay, when it says that fire came down from the Most High and devoured them, that's going into the missiles and that's going into the chariots, man. Okay, that's that battle of Armageddon. You see, because how the hell, when we let them loose, they're going to know Esau's going to be destroyed. All right. Let's go here, Revelation 13. This is the book of Ezekiel 13, and I'm going to start at verses 2. It says, Son of man, prophecy against the prophets of Israel, that prophecy, and say unto them that prophecy out of their own hearts, hear you the word of the Lord. It says, Thus says the Lord Yahweh, warn to the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. And this guy is a foolish prophet, man. Okay, this man, I don't see any sincerity in him. Okay, he's about the praises of men. Okay, and he don't take this thing serious, man. And he's a sellout. Okay, I'm sticking to the grit. I believe this man sold out. You know, and he got a lot of yes men around him, a lot of women around him, you know, a lot of simple ass jakes around him. These guys ain't the men of the Lord. I'm gonna tell you straightforward. These are not your prophets, man. Okay, these are the wicked scribes and Pharisees coming back in their lot. This is exactly who they are, man. Okay, and it behooves you, brothers, you sincere men, to stay away from men like this. Because I'm telling you right now, you follow men like this, hey, the Most High will, he will lay that to your charge. Okay, but it says here, O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the desert. It says, ye have not gone into the gaps. When is this last time this man have been out on the highways? But yeah, he could sit in front of a dead congregation and speak that madness for 2.5 hours. But it says, neither made up the hedge of the house of Israel to stand in the day of the battle with the Lord. And he's not preparing you. Okay, this man told you the mark of the beast is 7 different things. First one is an embargo, great nations, small nations. Then he tells you it's Christianity. Then he tell you it's philosophies. Then he tell you that it's what does this man said? He said now it's something he mentioned in the video, but he's never told you that it's the MOTB. Okay, he ain't gonna tell you that because GMS teaches it, and he despises the elders and the apostles, man, because he's been exposed as to being a sellout. And it said, ye have not gone into the gaps, neither made up the house of the hedge of it, neither made up the hedge, and the hedge is a protection for the house of Israel to stand in the battle with the day of the Lord. So his men, his congregation, they're through. Okay, the ones of them that's not coming out of that, they're through. And it says, and they have seen vanity and lying divination, saying the Lord said it when the Lord have not sent them. Lord ain't sent Nate. Okay, and it says, and they have made others to hope that they will confirm their word, right? Because he has a lot of people watching the videos, co-signing, oh man, that's a deep breakdown, Bishop, but he's going off. This man said that once our kingdom, once we reign with Yahweh 1,000 years, there was going to be war. No, man, we in that time now. Okay, Revelation 20 is historical. You can find that out. Look up the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Look up the Byzantine Empire, man. Okay, look up the Renaissance period. Okay, you get Revelation 20 chapter is broken up between 2 time periods. When the Western Roman Empire fell, which is the Byzantine Empire, or the Holy Roman Empire, which that word Byzantine goes into backwards. And then when you go down to verses 7, it goes into this modern Renaissance period. Okay? So you have to understand the history of it. And I didn't overly thoroughly go into these things, but when you understand the history of Revelation 12 and 13, and you understand about the ancient Roman Empire, then it would start to formulate a picture. Then you go into Daniel's the 7th chapter, the 2nd chapter. All those formulate a story. Even the second Ezra's 11 and 12 goes into the ancient Roman Empire, so you can get a clear understanding of what's being said. Okay, but it says, therefore, thus says the Lord, because ye have spoken vanity and seen lies, therefore, behold, I am against you, says the Lord Yahweh, and my hand should be upon the prophets that see vanity and that divine lies, that there should not be assembly of my people, neither should they be written in the writing of the house of Israel, neither should they enter to the land of Israel, and ye should know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Okay, so, hey, man, I'm going to end it here. Jake got to get up out of here, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. And with that, shalom.
Have we with Ezekiel 38 now? So I'm going to say something else. Don't let black Hebrew Israelites fool you into saying Ezekiel 38 is today. These black Hebrew Israelites get that dumb doctrine from Christians. Christians will read Ezekiel 38 and go, that's today. Have we reigned with Christ 1,000 years yet, brothers? No, we have not. So now we're in Ezekiel 38. Come on.
Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 1.